Recently, I reluctantly watched two YouTube videos on how an antenna tuner works. I had to turn them off before they were finished. Couldn't stand it. Now, I'm convinced that 90% of ham radio operators don't know what an antenna tuner really does. And this includes many hams with decades of experience in the hobby. Some may be engineers. Now, do I think this makes me smarter than everyone? No. All you have to do is open up the ARRL antenna book and do some research. Now let's look at one false belief about antenna tuners, probably the biggest tuner myth. An antenna tuner only provides the transmitter with a good match. Okay, I think we all know that it does. But what about from the tuner to the antenna? What's going on? I don't think most hams have any idea. This is explained in the antenna book. This is the 16th edition. That makes this book about 35 years old in 2025. Not exactly new information. So, besides providing the transmitter with a 50 ohm impedance, what else does a tuner do? The antenna book explains how an antenna tuner cancels all reactance in the antenna system. The antenna system consists of the tuner, the transmission line, and the antenna. Let's start reading here. This reactance cancellation results in a net system reactance of 0, establishing resonance in the entire system. In this resonant condition, the generator delivers its maximum available power to the load. This is why an antenna operated away from its natural resonant frequency is tuned to resonance by a transmatch connected at the input to the transmission line. Well, how does an antenna tuner do that? Simply stated, it's adjusted to add the right amount of inductance and capacitance to make a non-resonant circuit resonant. Here's a series resonance circuit. If the reactance of the capacitor and inductor are not equal and opposite of each other, the circuit is reactive, which is resistance to RF. So if you adjust their values so the reactances are equal and opposite, you have resonance and maximum power flows through the circuit. An antenna system can be compared to a series resonant circuit. When you adjust an antenna tuner, what happens to a power meter connected to its output? Well, when you've got it tuned right, the power peaks to a maximum. You've tuned out the reactance in the antenna system, which means the system is now resonant. So now the transmitter can deliver its full power to the antenna system. Now, that has to be the case if you have an SWR of 1 between the transmitter and the tuner. The transmitter power meter will show whatever power you've selected going into the tuner. A power meter on the tuner output will show all that power going out to the antenna. Now, this should give us all a lot of respect for what the underappreciated antenna tuner really does. Now, future videos will focus on other misunderstandings about antenna tuners. consider subscribing to this channel and 73.